Donald Trump was dispatched to talk about the economy, and to the limited extent that he did, this is what it looked like.
Many people say that the only reason the stock market is up is because people think I am going to win. Did you ever hear that? But there was one day a couple of weeks ago when they weren't thinking that, and you saw what happened. I don't know if you've seen this. I used it once. Oh, I have it. I do have it. Look at this. Look at this. So this is TicTacs, right? I don't know if I like the company. I've never met. I have no idea. They're so lucky. Look at all the television. This is the greatest commercial they ever had. But that's what happened. This is inflation. This is TicTac. This is TicTac.
Okay, now for a lot of you, you saw that clip and you thought, what the hell is going on? And I have a theory. I think that he was told that he is losing young voters and he needs to make an appeal to TikTok. And I think he's doing his best. He's a very old man. He doesn't have much brain. He bought some TicTacs and thinks that he's nailing it with Gen Z.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
There's a lot there that is so amazing. He says, I don't know the company. This is the best ad they're ever gonna have. And then he uses them as an example of shrinkflation. I don't think that's the advertising they want, buddy. And we will return to the topic of shrinkflation because Trump's sudden interest in the topic strikes me as a bit weird since I've been paying attention to the news cycle of last year. But also very briefly, should we fact check what he just said? Does anyone, hands in the air, does anyone care if what he just did was a massive lie? Would you be surprised to find out that he wasn't being honest there? Would it even matter in 2024 if it turned out that Donald Trump had told yet another lie? Probably not, I'm gonna do it anyway. There's something wrong with me. Shrinkflation is very much a real thing. The basic concept being that, yes, they will take a product, corporations, and make it more expensive. That's a thing that they do. They'll do it even if they don't need to. It's called price gouging, and it was all over the place over the last few years. And notice Donald Trump doesn't wanna talk about that still. But another way that it comes is you keep the same price, but you give less of the product, effectively raising the price for each unit of the product. And so chip bags have less chips in them or whatever. And so he decides in this time where there are many, many honest examples of shrinkflation, he's gonna do his TicTac gambit where he takes up TicTacs and then holds up a small one. It's not shrinkflation. That's a travel size TicTac container. You can buy them in things of 60. They're very, very small because they're for travel and they've been around since before the shrinkflation. So it's like even when he has an opening, even when he has a point to make, it's like it would bother him too much to not lie to you. He despises all of you, and I don't even mean my audience. I mean any conservatives watching this so much that he has to lie to you even when he doesn't need to. But to return to the topic of shrinkflation, it's something that we have been talking about. It's something, by the way, that even President Biden has been talking about, and you might know that because Fox has been mocking him for talking about shrinkflation all this year. Laura Ingraham, in fact, praised companies for doing shrinkflation. And you might think, well, wait, why would this supposed, like a pundit on a supposedly populist network laud a company for robbing you of product? Well, it does seem a little bit weird, admittedly, but think about the limitations ideologically that she's dwelling within. The limitation being that she cannot admit that these companies don't need to raise prices as much as they are. She cannot, none of them can. None of their pundits, none of the independent pundits, none of the politicians can ever admit that which is undeniable. They raised prices more than they needed to simply because they could. And so if you cannot acknowledge that, then you still want to get something out of inflation. So you say, okay, they had to do something because of Biden's inflation. Sorry, Kamala's inflation, we'll say it's hers. And so instead of charging you more, they just give you less. Are they not merciful? It's madness, it makes no sense, but that is 100% what she is doing there. And so when Joe Biden comes out and says, these companies are screwing you over, let's do something about it, Donald Trump and Laura Ingraham and all the rest will swoop in to say, how about we do absolutely nothing? In fact, how about we give a little pat on the back and maybe something to the front for the corporations that are screwing you over and robbing you? Because that's what's actually happening. And it wasn't just her. You had Jesse Waters saying, nothing is shrinking except Biden's approval rating. What are you again, it's Biden's snack attack. He's whining about shrinkflation. Okay, well, it looks like Donald Trump is the one that is shrinking, against all of the evidence of your eyes. It looks like it's Donald Trump that's doing a snack attack. He's whining about shrinkflation. That was just a couple of months ago. This wasn't a long time ago, and look how things have changed. All it took was Donald Trump kind of in an inaccurate way acknowledging shrinkflation. And the Washington Examiner is full of it, and there were op-eds on Fox News, and all of you knew about it. All of you were tracking it. And now, just a couple of months before the election, Donald Trump wants to swoop in, use an example that isn't even an example of shrinkflation to try to get you to support him. It is utterly pathetic. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.